Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining this MassMEDIC webinar. I'm Brian Johnson. I am the president of MassMEDIC, and I'm pleased to welcome you to this webinar today to discuss the New England Edge and how this benefits program is key to your membership in MassMEDIC. I'm going to be joined today by our friends over at the New England Edge, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves in a moment. I wanted to just kind of give you a broad background of why we chose to partner with MassBio on this critical program. And I'm sure Jason will get into this a little bit just in terms of the New England Edge, but the New England Edge is a program that goes back many, many years as a way to harness the power of the combined strength of the biotechnology industry. MassMEDIC, as the voice of the medtech industry, we also have a large community of innovators that need access to great ways to save money and reduce red tape in terms of trying to get products to market quicker. But really what this comes down to is the trade association business is changing. For many years, we ran a one way. We had a lot of breakfasts, we did a lot of networking events, and we gave you some things to educate you on the market and information you need to know. But like all industries, we as well have had to innovate and have had to evolve. And that was one of the things that drove me to join MassMEDIC, was the challenge of taking an industry, a successful industry, and trying to make it more successful. And so as I embarked on this mission just almost 2 years ago, the most important thing for me was, how do we more embed our industry association into our members' lives? How do we create more value for every single member? And as I looked around the world of trade associations, the association I thought understood this concept the most critically was MassBio. And immediately it became apparent that as sort of cousins or sibling organizations across town from each other in industries that are highly complementary, that it made a ton of sense for us to come together and work on projects. And this critical program, New England Edge, is really the background, it's the foundation of that. So I'm really pleased. It took some time to get the deal done to make sure that, we had the right key benefits in place. But today, I am more assured than ever that MassMEDIC is going to be able to deliver on that original promise of helping our members succeed. And I'm really thrilled today to bring this webinar to you so that you can understand more granularly how you can interact with this program. And, we're not going to solve all your questions. Frankly, how this program works is we're going to, tell you about it now. You're going to engage with us, and then we're going to come and set up a call with you and talk to you specifically about how we can impact your business. But this relationship is going to be tremendously successful for our organization. We're thrilled to be working with MassBio and the New England Edge. I'm really excited about just the synergies that we've created right away. I can tell you that we have also piloted some very successful programs on the fly. We did the supply chain hub as soon as COVID-19 started its outbreak in the Massachusetts area, and our organizations together ended up sourcing, tens of thousands of pieces of PPE just from our member community, with simply just calling out and combining our resources. So if we can do that under the worst of circumstances, imagine what we can do to help you guys accelerate your businesses. And that's why I'm so excited about this program. And that's why I'm really pleased to introduce you to Jason Cordero, who's going to take it from here and drive the presentation. Jason, why don't you take it away?
Thanks, Brian. Thanks for the introduction, and thanks for having us here today on the webinar. Really excited about the partnership. In a little bit, Steve's going to jump into some of the details about the program, really go through how to take advantage of all of the things that the New England Edge has to offer. and how to work with our partners. I want to give you a little bit of a high-level overview of what we're doing here at the New England Edge. And really, our job is to aggregate the spend of all of our member companies to help negotiate better pricing, better service for all of our members. And really excited about what we're able to do now that we have MassMEDIC in the fold. It's going to help create greater value for our partners and provide us greater leverage as we continue to negotiate with those partners in the future. Some of the other things that we're working on here are finding a new partner for really focused in on the med tech and med device space. We've committed to Brian and the team at MassMEDIC that we want to work with your members to identify some areas that we want to target and find the right partner for the med device industry. So please certainly reach out to us with any ideas you have for those service providers. And if any questions come up, any issues arise with any of our partners, please reach out to us directly. The buying power that we have gets us some really high-level executive contacts at our partners that help us to address any issues very quickly. So please reach out. We're here to support you. Our goal is to be a partner with all of our members to make sure that we're providing greater value to all of the purchasing and procurement that you're doing. And we really hope to help you guys from a financial standpoint. So I'm going to kick it over to Steve to dive into these partners specifically and how to take advantage of the program.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Jason. And thank you all for being here as well. The biggest takeaway that I'd like folks to have from this seminar is how to utilize this great program. So what I'd like to cover today is some of the common questions. I'm going to get a little bit more granular on our preferred partner offerings. And then also, introduce myself to you folks as a resource. So my name is Steve Powell. I'm the Director of Edge Business Development with MassBio and MassMEDIC as well to bring this New England Edge offering and really sort of cover the basis of how you folks can take advantage of that. I want to be here to facilitate introductions and streamline that process for you. And also a common question that comes up, and you'll see it on this slide as well, is your member number. And what that member number means is, essentially all of our members are assigned a member number, and our partners are familiar with that number. Sometimes what I see is there's a little bit of a disconnect there. And I can certainly provide that for you. So certainly reach out to me to get that sort of. The online directory is probably one, as you, if you look into your role. So purchasing, generally, I'm going to talk to purchasing, anyone in manufacturing. If you do have labs, lab managers. Environmental health and safety departments. All of those folks can visit the New England Edge directory, independent of my role or who I am, by going to massmedic.com and diving in and viewing those listings. But then, of course, I'm here as well to support that.
I mean, I think it's important just to sort of stress what Steve is here for, what MassMEDIC is here for, is to help you in your purchasing process to make sure that you're getting the best deal you can. And the most important thing is really to come through to start at the absolute first starting point, right, is massmedic.com. Go into the New England Edge tab. You can go, it's under member resources, and then it's under purchasing program. We also have a tease on the home site. And then, so once we go there, Steve, they click on it, and then they will end up being able to just, express interest in there. That'll take them through to you guys. Just give us a little more granularity on that process.
Oh, sure. Perfect. Yeah. So what you would do when you're in this directory, you'll see view listing, and that listing is really going to go through all the contract highlights. It'll talk about who that partner is, but really tell you who or the nuts and bolts of what that partnership agreement would be. There'll be a tab in there that'll say send message. That message is going to get to a program manager or one of the partner sales managers, and exactly what you'd said before, Brian. It's going to, ping them to reach back out to you, and it goes directly to them. They'll get in front of you guys, or they'll reach back out to you guys, and just make sure that you can take advantage of it. So it's really just as simple as getting to that directory, selecting the partner that you want to work with, clicking through to view that listing, and sending a message. And that message is going to the dedicated resource that we've set up that knows that you would be able to take advantage of this program.
Steve, do we offer any services where they can talk to us and just say, I don't really know, how to use, not just how to use a program, but I'm sort of new to this procurement idea. Can you give us any help with that? How should the member think about that? Say they're a very small company, they don't have an actual purchasing department. They're basically a scientific team lead, and they're just kind of ordering as needed. What's the best way for them to think about the process?
It sounds a bit archaic, but that's what my role is, right? So I would say there's no such thing as too much communication. So at any point there are any questions that you have about taking advantage of this program, just shoot me an email, and I'm gonna elevate that to help you out. And you mentioned the smaller companies, by the design of the purchasing consortium, really from its birth, it's always been designed to help out our smaller companies, so they have that same buying power as our larger companies. So a simple way to answer that, and again, it sounds a little archaic because it is just by reaching out, but certainly that's what I'm here for. So never hesitate to email, and I'll help you.
Great. I mean, and that's what that to me, that's the key differentiator of the New England Edge is, and why it was such an attractive benefit for our members is that, really, frankly, it's a collaborative partner to help you basically save really precious resources. Everybody, especially in the beginning, is on a tight budget. Every dollar counts in business, especially today. In the times of constrained budget, right? Every dollar counts. I mean, even down to those journal subscriptions, which are essential. We all have to stay informed, right? So we, as a member of MassMEDIC, and you have access to that, you are able to really take advantage. And I would really encourage you to reach out to us to see what we can do for you.
What I was mentioning about Thermo Fisher is over 9,000 manufacturers, over 700,000 products, and common questions, right? Fisher is the distribution channel for Thermo Fisher Scientific, so your Thermo Fisher products can be distributed through Fisher Scientific as well. You'll see on there that bullet point about the rebate incentive. That generally ends up being about 2.5% back. So this program is sort of built out to be such that the more you put into it, the more you get out of it, right? We see also with that a savings of about 40%. You're not going to pay delivery. You're not going to pay HAS fees that are associated with some of the products that are delivered. And then also the bullet point about that customizable hot list pricing. That is you folks, the products that you're purchasing the most, discounted even further into like what either customizable, dynamic hot list, whatever you want to call it. That's ultimately that portion of this rebate program. This program as well. So Fisher, by and large, a tremendous value driver for our membership, and certainly hope you can take advantage of that. What I was mentioning about Veolia, this is another sort of one-stop shop, right? So they can handle all things waste stream, anything that you're producing. They're a multinational company, but heavily focused in the Boston area and the New England area. We see an average of 33% for savings. There is a rebate incentive as well. This is going to be for your larger, waste generators. But certainly, nice to have, because the larger waste generator is going to be more money out. So what's, you know, that 3% incentive back to those folks is certainly a valuable one. And then, you know, the training, the regulatory guidance, and even on-site staffing can all be wrapped in part of this program as well. I mentioned before, the DOT training is something that comes up every 3 years, and Veolia can be a resource to get you folks on that as well. Middlesex Gases. So I was mentioning that they're a local, you know, laboratory gas supplier. So think of, you know, liquid nitrogen, CO2, any sort of mixes that you might be using in your process. We see an average savings of 25%. There is also a rebate incentive there as well. And really, they're selling reliability, right? They're a, you know, they're a there when you need them type of company. And that ISO 17025 laboratory is located in Everett. So they're certainly going to be able to meet, you know, your demand as well. So, you know, really just a great partner offering you can take advantage of. WB Mason, I think this is one that certainly comes up where that, Brian, the question that you had mentioned, you know, so many folks, at least regionally here, know who WB Mason is and the support and service that they provide. So many of you are probably already, you know, utilizing WB Mason services. As Brian had said, you know, that's a really light lift to get you on this program and get you taking advantage of that. You'll see an average savings of about 25%. So certainly one we want to introduce to you folks. You know, UPS, everyone knows UPS, and you know, we have really sort of import, export, small pack, international, and express services. You know, we see really great savings there. UPS is one that you can take advantage of through an online platform. If you know your UPS account number, we can send you the link. You can go in there. It's really that simple to take advantage of this offer. And, you know, Flight Center Travel Group, I know that folks aren't traveling right now, but I also know that many of you have BD teams that travel often when we're in the normal, right? So it's a good time to engage with, you know, Flight Center Travel Group, you know, a parent of Corporate Traveler, which is most likely the offer that many of you will take advantage of. It is within that umbrella of the Flight Center Travel Group. You know, that 24/7 emergency assistance, it's important to note that is completely in-house. That is Flight Center Travel's staff that is going to be responding to your needs 24/7, 365. And then also, you know, there's a state-of-the-art platform that you can take advantage of for, it's a really kind of a digital booking tool that you can take advantage of, along with a dedicated travel agent as well, and all with preferred MassMEDIC pricing. So really, if you didn't have a travel management provider before, or if you did and you want to entertain, you know, changing in preparation for that new normal of travel, they're a great offer to talk to. And then also with that in mind, you know, as Castle Integrations is one that we saw our member companies really get to utilize when everyone had to, you know, move to this virtual setting. Everyone's working from home. So as Castle was really able to step it up for our member companies, get them set up, get their network set up, help with cloud solutions, help with, you know, cybersecurity solutions with people working in remote settings, all with preferred pricing. But really sort of think of them as a managed service provider plus. I mean, you can really anything from help desk to hardware. They're going to be a great offer for you folks. And, you know, so there's some that I didn't get too granular on, but I certainly wanted to provide you, you know, as granular as a presentation as I could. I'm sure we'll have follow-up calls. I'm sure we'll have follow-up conversations. But, you know, this is really the program that you can take advantage of. You'll see some of the journals and subscriptions that you folks might be utilizing. There's discounted pricing within there. And so on and so forth. So, so really kind of to recap, you know, use us. We're the resources for you, and that's certainly my role is to help you navigate this and communicate those member numbers to the partners, and I can help assist with that. Visit MassMEDIC, use that online directory, and then let's follow up from this session and have a further conversation about how to take advantage of this. Want to make sure you are.
This is a really collaborative, great process. I've sat through several calls on this. We go through, we can go through what you're currently doing with your partners from these vendors, and we can actually help perhaps if there is ability to get you to save more money, we can look at that, and then we can make some suggestions about maybe where you want to think about. I've seen that process happen. So it is unlike any other sort of purchasing program that I've seen. Mostly it's sort of hands-off, kind of program. But this is a really great, unique, collaborative tool. And like Steve said, look, Flight Center. I mean, think about this. I know we've all been grounded for 4 months, but let's be real. Travel is one of the biggest expenses that we all have to, undertake. Saving some off of that budget, travel budget is always, it's a wild card. So, think about how you can use that. Shipping, again, the same thing. But I mean, Steve, what do you think are the key vendors that med tech companies should really look closely at? I mean, we all know about WB Mason, we know about UPS. Flight Center is very interesting, but there's a couple vendors that you think that companies right away might be able to save some significant money on.
Yeah. No, I mean, sort of the first one that comes to mind would be Veolia. And again, that's really because this is a multinational company. They operate sort of independently regionally, but they're going to be able to help you with all of the waste that's generated in the manufacturing process, whether it be from metals to, regulated medical waste. So that is one. And Brian, in the calls that we've engaged with members on, that sort of always elevates the surface. Another one is sort of kind of a quiet one within the preferred partner offering, but Middlesex Gases. Those folks that are using nitrogen, whether it be gaseous or liquid in their process, and then so on and so forth when it comes to those offerings. The rare gases and mixtures, those need to be there. And no one can afford a shutdown because their nitrogen tank is empty. And what I can say from Middlesex is, it's not a very flashy industry, but what they sell is reliability, and they'll be there to deliver for our member companies. So that's sort of another one, almost like a pain point that gets discussed on calls about current suppliers and where we and our partners can do better. And then lastly, I would say Fisher Scientific, just because of the sheer amount of products that can go through that distribution channel.
Right, and a lot of these companies are local companies, which is also, I think, really was very attractive for us in this partnership. Thermo Fisher obviously is a Massachusetts-based company. Yeah. Middlesex Gas. I mean, so staying local is a big deal, I think.
Yeah, Veolia as well, in the great town of Marlborough, Massachusetts.
Yep. So, a lot of our members
it is one that we consider when engaging with suppliers as well.
Excellent. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. And I think what you've heard today is the start of a better, more in-depth relationship with your trade association. And I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. And please reach out to us, but we're going to be doing a lot more outreach to you. We'll make sure that everybody on this call has access to this PowerPoint, and we will also reach out to see, how you can utilize this program. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, everyone.